Hello everybody, I'm Charlie from Dr. Wen, and welcome along to yet another daily Doctor Who YouTube video. It is Thursday today, and because it's Thursday, then I will be ranking all episode 5s. I've already done videos where I've ranked episode 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s, so as I said, today it's going to be episode 5s. For these lists, I'm going to be separating 2-parters and 3-parters for convenience, so the episode 5s that I will be ranking today, there are 12 of them, will be Evolution of the Daleks, The Rebel Flesh, The Saranga Conundrum, The Girl Who Died, World War III, Flesh and Stone, The Angels Take Manhattan, The Poison Sky, Oxygen, Rise of the Cybermen, Fugitive of Vigidoon, and Time Heist. So those are going to be the episodes, and if you use Netflix to watch it, then you might notice that these are a little bit different. That's because it counts Christmas specials as episode 1s instead as just separate things. So yes, I'm just going to be doing episode 5s of the main series. Anyway, I hope you enjoy, and let's get into this video. In 12th place we have Series 3 Episode 5, it is Evolution of the Daleks. I've given this a 6.1, but I wouldn't say this is bad, I'd say it's a very meh episode. I don't think this is as good as Part 1, although I both gave them 6.1, I think The Daleks in Manhattan is a little bit better than it. However, it does have quite good side characters. Lots of people don't really like them, but I actually really like them. I can't remember lots of their names, but I think most of them would make brilliant companions. That Dalek human design is quite weird with like the tentacles and the brain that you can see. I thought that was really weird. It didn't really make sense how they had one eye. But it is an interesting concept, like, this one Dalek trying to evolve, by merging with a human. I thought that was quite interesting actually, but the conclusion of this is quite confusing and it's not really explained how it was stopped. So there we go. In 11th place we have Series 6, Episode 5, which is the Rebel Flesh. This is the first part in a 2-parter of the Rebel Flesh and the Almost People, and I've given it a 7.3. I think it's a little bit better than the Almost People, because it's a really interesting concept, this like programmable flesh that can mimic, an exact replica of a human. I thought that was really good actually. The clones are weird. Their abilities are really strange, especially the one that you can see here, but I do quite like them actually. I think it's not the most ridiculous thing to come from Doctor Who. I know I might sound a bit picky here, but there's actually really boring colours in this. Pretty much the only colours are brown, grey, black and orange. Because of the setting, I think this would have worked better if it was just a, like a high-tech base or something. But I feel like this, alongside the Almost People, only exists to set up A Good Man Goes to War, the finale of Series 6B. So there we go. I still think it was alright though. I gave it a 7.3. In 10th place we have the Saranga Conundrum, Series 11, Episode 5, which is a little bit better than the Rebel Flesh. I've given it a 7.4. The main reason why it's lower down on this list is because it really isn't very memorable. I remember actually really enjoying Series 11, but this one I can't really remember much about. On my rewatch I'm on The Return of Dr. Mysterio, so I haven't seen 10, 11 and Series 10, 11 and 12 in a while, so my judgment may change after watching those. But this, it isn't really memorable at all. I think in my list of Series 11 episodes, which is coming up at some point, then I chose this as the 3rd weakest. I think it's a little bit better than Arachnid in the UK and the Battle of Ranskoor of Kolos, but it's still one of the weaker ones of Series 11. That villain we have, the little blue alien called the Pting, is pretty stupid, and you just can't take it seriously because of how small it is. I don't really know what they were thinking making it a villain. There's really annoying side characters in this as well. I didn't really like them that much, but it is quite a fast-paced episode, and it does remind me a bit of the Base Under Siege story, which I actually really like, especially in the Troughton era. So there we go. 9th place I have The Girl Who Died with an exact 8 out of 10. I think this is not part of The Woman Who Lived. Lots of people say it's part 1 of a two-parter, The Girl Who Died and The Woman Who Lived, because they both focus around a shielder. I don't really think that. I think this is more of a standalone story, just because they have completely different settings and plot lines. This is actually a really good setting. I do like the whole Viking village. I've been wishing New Who could do like a Viking episode for a while, and we got one, which was really good. I do think this should have been a pure historical. I think the Maya are weird villains and don't really do that much, but the final battle is really good, and had it not been for the Maya, we wouldn't have had that brilliant final battle. This also starts off the Shielder arc really nicely, because we see her again multiple times throughout the series. She actually appears in 4 episodes, including The Girl Who Died, The Woman Who Lived, Face the Raven, and Hellbent. Next up we have World War III with an 8.1. This is part 2 of the very first two-parter in New Who, and it was really, really good. I think I've given this an 8.1. The main thing that's pushing it down for me is that the Slitheen are stupid villains. I really, really don't like the Slitheen. The thing that saves this episode mainly is the Doctor and Rose. They are brilliant in this. I think Rose is at her absolute best here, and the Ninth Doctor is amazing as always. I think this episode kind of solidified him for me as a brilliant Doctor. I have every episode for each Doctor where the Doctor just kind of clicks. Harriet Jones is a bit annoying, but that can be forgiven because she's not really in it that much. It's a really fast-paced, quick episode. I quite like how it's a sort of based Under Siege episode, but they've like put a different spin on it. I quite like that, and Mickey is really good. I'm glad they included him. Lots of time throughout New Who, the companions' families are just kind of there, but especially in the RCD era, they actually kind of do stuff. 7th place we have Flesh and Stone, also with an 8.1. This is Series 5, Episode 5, and this second part of a Weeping Angel two-parter. The main reason why I really like this is because of the Weeping Angels. They're really good villains, but I don't think they were utilised to the extent they could have been. The forest is quite a weird setting. I don't really see the need for that, especially since they're on an alien planet. It doesn't really make that much sense. Amy does pretty much nothing in this. She's just spending the entire time with her eyes closed, which is pretty useless. But River Song appears for the first time since she died in Forest of the Dead in this story, and she is really good in this. I really like River Song as a companion. But yeah, this was alright. Not as good as Blink, which I gave a 9.7, but it's still a very good Weeping Angel episode. Next up, in 6th place, coincidentally, another Weeping Angel episode, The Angels Take Manhattan. I've given this an 8.1 as well. The main reason why it's so high on this list is because Amy and Rory's send-off is really sad. They got touched by a Weeping Angel and were sent back in time to live in Winter Quay. River is really good in this. I was actually not really expecting her because I thought that with the wedding of River Song that would kind of be it for River, but nope, she came back in this and the finale of Series 7B, The Name of the Doctor, as well. Statue of Liberty, Weeping Angel is really scary, and you know, we can see the awesome shot right there with the Winter Quay building and that Statue of Liberty Weeping Angel right there. That was awesome and really, really scary. I really like how timey-wimey this story is as well, because Rory went to, he went to get a drink in modern day New York and he ended up like 80 years before, which I thought was really kind of unexplained, but still alright, and I do quite like how timey-wimey with all the time paradoxes in this. I do really like it. In 5th place, we have The Poison Sky with an 8.4. I'm finding that lots of these are actually the second part of a two-parter, and this is no exception. This is the second part of a Sontaran two-parter in Series 4, and I really liked it. The Sontaran creature design update is really good, but the annoying thing is about this is that the Sontarans aren't legitimate threats. I think if they brought the Sontarans back again, they need to make them actually like menacing towards Earth. I think this did work really well though. I think the Sontaran episode on Earth is the way to go for this, and this does have quite an annoying conclusion because we have that really bad secondary villain, that Ratigan person, which I really didn't like, and it was so annoying how he saved everyone from the Sontarans, and it wasn't even the Doctor. I do quite like the return of Unit in this entire story. I thought they were really good, and Martha especially as well. That was really good. Donna and Wilf are brilliant in this. I was actually really scared in this because I thought Wilfred Mott was going to die, and which was really sad because he's my favourite minor companion. In 4th place we have Oxygen with an 8.4. This is actually a really cool concept, having these spacesuits where you only get 5,000 breaths. I thought that was a really good idea. This is sort of a horror episode with those people who've been sucked into the vacuum of space. I thought that they were really creepy as well, how they could walk. Nardole and Bill are brilliant. This is the first time Nardole went on a proper adventure with the Doctor in Series 10, and the whole TARDIS team in this is just brilliant. The setting is really good as well. It's a spaceship, so it can be argued that this is a base under siege episode, but so is a lot of Doctor Who. Not lots of the time without even realising it. Lots of episodes are base under siege stories. So yes, I really liked this, and I wish we got another episode set on that same spaceship with the 13th Doctor, because I think that would work really well as well. In 3rd place we have Rise of the Cybermen with an 8.8. This is the first time the Cybermen appeared in New Who, and I really liked them. I don't think the design is quite as good as it could have been. I think, you know, they're scarier like the Mondasian Cybermen or Tomb of the Cybermen designs, but I think the generic robot design isn't as good, but still very good. John Lumic is a brilliant villain. I do quite like how, although it's not in this story, this image, how he becomes a cyber controller. I thought that was really good. The whole parallel world concept is really good, and I'm surprised New Who did it that early, only in their 2nd series, which was really impressive. Nikki also gets a lot of character development, and it sets up Army of Ghosts really, really well. In 2nd place we have Fugitive of the Judoon, Series 12, Episode 5 with an 8.8. I said this multiple times throughout my last few videos, but I definitely preferred Series 12 over Series 11. I thought it was a huge step up, and I really enjoyed most of the episodes. Fugitive of the Judoon is no exception. It's the 2nd best story of Series 12 in my opinion. It has a lot of hints at the Doctor's past, with the Ruth Doctor and the Division and, you know, the Time Corp Division or something like that, and I wish we got to see more of that in Series 13. The Judoon have a comeback which is really good. I did quite like the Judoon in Smith and Jones, so I'm glad to see them again. The Ruth Doctor reveal is brilliant, and I really like her as a Doctor. That she is my least favourite New Who Doctor, but that's probably only because she hasn't had enough screen time at the moment. She's only been in 2 episodes. But yes, I really like this story, and I want to see a sequel to it. In 1st place, you probably weren't expecting this, is HEIST, which I've given an 8.9 out of 10. I know most of these lists have a top spot that's at least a 9, but episode 5s I don't think have an average of that high a number, but Time Heist is still a brilliant episode. It's an awesome idea having this intergalactic bank that they kind of got to infiltrate. I thought that was a really good idea. That whole scene with the memory worm was brilliant, how Doctor actually set that all up and then used a memory worm so the Teller wouldn't get them. I really liked that. The Teller is, like I just said, a really cool villain. I think it's awesome how it can sense your thoughts and knows if you're guilty or not by reading your mind. I thought that was really good. This is an incredibly underrated episode. I've heard lots of Doctor Who YouTube channels like Council of Geeks say that this isn't really that good. I really disagree because I really, really enjoyed this. So I hope you enjoyed my video, everyone, and feel free to share your opinions on ranking episode 5s in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoy my content, and let's see what we've got tomorrow. Next time. So tomorrow, since I've done a top 10 best episodes, I think it's time for a top 10 worst episodes. It won't be the most positive video since I don't really like any of the episodes, but feel free to tune in then, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.